Hi Homeworthy, Alex Azat. Today we're here at the Pasadena Antique Mall. We're gonna look for some really amazing pieces for my home and I'm so excited to take you with me. Let's go check it out. Obviously, I've gone antiquing many a time for client projects, but since this is for my own personal home, it's a bit more emotional, so I've called in some support.
Hi!
This is Brittany, our project manager over at Pasadena and a very, very close friend of mine. We're really excited to get this going. Let's go do some stuff.
Let's do it!
When we design homes, it's really important for them to feel collected. I lost absolutely everything in the fire, so today what I'm really trying to do is find little pieces that speak to me, pieces that feel like they were from 100 years ago, that I've slowly sourced over time. The best way to do something like that is to go to an antique mall because all of these items have lived a life before. They do have a soul and it's not artificial. So when we're looking through this mall, we are looking for things that have not only lived some life, but aren't perfect, but are still of really high quality. When we look at something like these lamps, we're thinking, are they silver plated? And we can tell that they are, but that there is some damage here, how the corners are becoming a bit warmer and a bit almost like a copper, well, it is a copper color showing through. So they're plated in silver, but they're not silver all the way through, obviously. So we can tell that just by looking at the distress here. $9.25 is not a bad price for this duo, even with the damage. So if you are coming to the table without the education to know these things, ChatGPT is actually a really great source to quickly ask questions, and it can actually get back to you and educate you while you're looking. Otherwise, oftentimes, like in this Pasadena Antique Mall specifically, each booth has its own owner. So oftentimes if the owner's here, they can explain all of that to you, which is very cool. Or you can ask somebody in the front for help. Everyone's really helpful. So that's another pro tip. So bit of a strange scenario for me, just because this is also personal and I literally lost every single thing I had in my home. Each piece had been collected over different parts of my life and decades. Some were given to me by really important family members, and it's stuff that's totally irreplaceable. But I'm hoping that I can find some really funky, cool things here that speak to me and make me smile when I put them in my finished home, because I think that's what accessories and art and home goods in general is all about. It should make you happy and it should speak to you and it should be so personal. So there's enough stuff in this place that I can make a good dent at least.
You're watching Homeworthy, where we believe every home has a story.
This was our home. The place where my husband Issa and I celebrated the birthdays of our 2 kids, marked milestones, and built our lives together. And then, in January 2025, it was gone. In just one night, everything we had poured our hearts into was reduced to ash, along with 18,000 other homes across Los Angeles.
It's like, gone here, gone here.
This is the story of how we're designing our way back. I'm Alexandra Azat, an interior designer, and together with my family, we're rebuilding one of the first homes in our neighborhood to rise again. Together, we'll transform this empty lot into a home full of heart and hope. This isn't just about bricks, wood, and paint.
This is the only rafter tail from our original house that made it through the fire.
It's about reclaiming what we lost, building something even more beautiful.
Oh my God.
And finding joy again in the process. We want to bring you along for the journey, not just for the rebirth of our home, but our entire neighborhood. The hard decisions, design breakthroughs, setbacks, and moments of hope. Thank you for being by our side in designing our way back.
We know there's a really amazing booth up here that has some fantastic art. The price points are amazing. So if you're looking to buy in bulk or fill a house perhaps, it's usually one of my first stops. Also, as you can see, each booth is owned by a different person or company, so they each have their own personality. Some are all Murano based, some are mid-century, some are all books, some are all accessories. So as you walk, you'll know what you're gravitating toward. This piece is really cool. Something we always look for as designers are well-priced, very large pieces, because it always elevates the home when there's something really large on the wall, rather than a few smaller things and or just something that's a single and it's too small for the wall. So we're always looking for things like this paired with a really chic mohair sofa or something would be really nice. And if you're looking for flatware, we found it.
Think we can find a whole set in here?
There's a flash sale on flatware.
2 for $5.
Yeah, 2 for $5. So if you were looking to see if they were plated, they'd say it. They'd have some sort of an engraving.
It's a little stamp.
And sometimes they'll even have the brand name, and then you can quickly look it up. Silver-plated materials tend to be really light, which shocks people. The heavier the piece, it's probably not silver or silver-plated. So this is the spot I was talking about where they have the most amazing prints and little things, like even just right off the bat. This is so beautiful for $225. Oftentimes, the frames are worth more than the art. Not really the case with this one, but as you walk through in these antique centers, you'll sometimes see really beautiful ornate frames, and you might not even like the art that's inside of it, but sometimes you can buy it just for the frame and then put whatever you want inside. Brittany and I have worked together for 20 years-ish, give or take. Yeah, we were actually florists together before, and we were event producers, and we sold that company. We had a company together actually, and we sold that. And when I jumped into interiors, she jumped in with me, and here we are, we're still together.
So after, the design is developed by Alex and the rest of our team, I sort of jump in and I'm the one that's kind of, overseeing all of the procurement, talking with the vendors, making sure that everything's ordered, where it's going. I chat with the receiving warehouse, make sure they know exactly what's coming and when, and just make sure that I've got, eyes on everything for the client, once we're in that phase of the project.
Art is so personal, so I think that when it comes to the larger pieces that I'm sourcing for my own home, I'm gonna really take my time with that. What I'm looking for today are more just filler pieces of art around certain hallways, in my kids' rooms, things like areas like that I don't really have a full design developed yet. When I move into my home, I want it to really feel like home already, so I don't want there to be blank walls, and I'll slowly collect as I always do, but that's why we're here today. I really want to make the space feel homey and filled for my family when it's time for us to get back in there. I'm really just looking for whatever speaks to me. That's how art is for me. I grew up in a pretty artistic home. My mom's a painter. My aunt is a photography collector. And so for me, I'm just looking for what speaks to me. I want a good balance of mediums. So some oil paintings, some prints, just a nice mixture of things. And I think what I'm really looking for today is that soulful art that's gonna look like it has seen some things, like something like this. You can see it is absolutely not a new or modern painting. There's cracks in the paint. Oftentimes in oils, this isn't one of them, but you'll notice in a lot of still lifes that when you purchase an old still life, it's looking very, very dark. That's actually, it wasn't necessarily painted that way. The age and how the paint has aged through time darkens it. And so there are companies that can come and clean all of that up for you. Oh my gosh, this is so pretty. And a lot of times you'll find these little things and there will be details on the back. It'll have the year, it'll have the artist. And you can learn a little bit about the art even though the artist isn't here to explain. This is very cute. Mm-hmm. I like the colors, I like the scene. When you're looking for art, I kind of mentioned it's whatever speaks to you. I grew up traveling through Europe quite a bit. My mom is from Spain. And so things like this, these scenes remind me of that. And so I gravitate towards things like that. But like I said, art's very personal. So this is really somewhere you could spend an hour just in this booth alone. And what I find so fun is that if you were to spend an hour here and you were to fill, let's say, a long hallway with art from here, it wouldn't feel like you just bought it all in one day. I'm also a sucker for mid-sized mirrors, so something like 13 to 18 inch. Huge sucker for those. I just think they are so cute. Like for instance, in a bathroom, if you did like an intentionally small 18-inch mirror, it would look so cute. I'll be doing that actually in my house on top of 2 vanities, and I already have the mirrors for those, but I'm pretty sure if I see another one here, I'm gonna get suckered into buying it. What'd you find, Britt?
Oh, this just, my grandpa had something hanging like this in his office. So this just, brings back memories, visiting my grandpa.
That's what art does.
Exactly.
If I got that giraffe for my kids, they would be very hurt, and it would probably last a week.
Well, good thing it's on sale.
When you're antiquing, you can also look for things like these old gilt chairs. They can easily be reupholstered in a really modern fabric, and they would completely pop in a room and become the centerpiece. And you'll get something for a really good deal if you get something like this that's completely falling apart and you take it to a good upholsterer. They'll completely clean it up for you, and it's a great way to get focal pieces that look like they are worth a lot, but actually you got for a deal. Hi. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
Great. If you know the scale and the size and the color scheme you're looking for, he has so many rugs all over the room. He will roll them all out for you, roll them back, like, he's amazing. How are you?
I'm doing fine.
I bought a rug from him for Adele.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
She's obsessed with it. She's so happy with it.
Good.
She put him through the ringer. She was like, let me see a different one. Let me see another one. It's a workout over here. You're like, you roll it all out.
That's why you don't have to go to the gym.
I know.
This is actually a really cool piece too. This framed like textile piece.
That one is an antique piece, yeah. That's
Beautiful.
Oh, that one over here is 1826.
Wow.
It's dated, yeah. It's
Yeah?
a sampler from northeast part of the United States.
Where do you source everything?
You know, I am from Turkey myself, since I've been doing this for like the last 52 years.
52 years?
52
How'd you
years,
get into
1973.
rugs?
Well, how did I get? I am from Istanbul, and when I was a student, I used to go to the Grand Bazaar of Istanbul. I don't know whether you heard about it or not.
I haven't.
It has about 4,000 shops, and a lot of shops were rug stores, you know. And I would go and make money translating for tourists who wanted to come and buy rugs. And then, you know, it grew on me, and when I decided when I got my diploma from the university, I said, I'm not going to do any of that. I'm just going to go into the rug business. And so that's how I started. In 1973, I opened my own store in the Grand Bazaar in Turkey. Yeah.
Oh wow, how amazing.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I've been to Istanbul with my family. We actually bought a couple of rugs there.
Oh, perfect.
So I wonder if it was from you.
Exactly.
But it looks like Alex found something. If we want to go see if we can
I
unroll
want
it.
to check this
Oh,
out.
sure, yes,
Is that
of
okay?
course. Yeah. Absolutely.
Can I help you?
Colors
Oh,
are so
yeah,
beautiful.
Thank you. Sure. I'll put it like this.
Like you said, this is your workout,
This
right?
it's such a workout, honestly. Yeah, and what I love about coming here is he'll give the whole backstory on where it's from and the tribe that made it, and you know, if it's a more fine type of weaving, really we get a real good education each time that we come. It's not often that you see. It's a Turkish rug?
It's a Turkish rug, yes.
In this color scheme. So,
Here, I'm right in the way.
Nice.
yeah. Oh my gosh.
Got it? Ooh, the colors are really nice.
So pretty. So beautiful.
Here.
The colors are really nice.
Yeah,
Beautiful colors.
really warm.
It's a 14?
9.5 by 14.
9.5 by
9.5 by 14.
It's very pleasant colors, like
Yeah.
the serapis,
Yeah.
the Persian serapi rugs. Muted.
How much is this?
$29.90. It's not
That's-
an antique rug. It's
It's-
mid-century rug, and when they did, it had a pile higher, and they shaved it.
Oh,
Interesting. How do you know?
he's been doing this for
I've
52
been doing
years?
it for 52 years. Yes.
Every time I come, I learn something.
It's a beautiful.
I didn't even know that people did that. I didn't know that you could.
Yeah.
It's so
Yeah.
pretty.
Yeah, exactly.
How can you tell if a rug's been shaved?
Well, you know, the pile is really low, and generally speaking, when you look at the back of the rug, and it has really kind of like, it's not like an antique rug which is very smooth. Antique rugs generally, because you step on them so long,
Right.
they get smoother and they don't have that. You see when I do this,
Yeah,
it makes a sound.
and antique
And
rugs
that's,
that usually
so
wouldn't.
Antique rugs, they will make that sound much less.
Got it.
Yeah.
So interesting.
Yeah, yeah. 6 by 20 is what you looking
Like,
for?
Anywhere from 6 to 7 foot width, and then
Okay.
like anywhere from 17 to 20 foot length.
I know we can do it.
Yeah.
I did a 28-foot runner.
Ooh,
You know,
okay.
as a matter of fact, I have the picture of it.
Yeah, something like this would be amazing.
Something like that.
So
would be-
pretty.
This is a very pretty rug.
Yeah.
This. I mean,
It's
we
very,
can have
very
it
pretty.
done, you know, can have it made. You know.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's so rich.
Very rich, very beautiful rug.
Yeah,
Very beautiful rug.
gorgeous.
It takes some
Gorgeous.
time, of course, because it's gonna be
Yeah.
done, you know, for.
Yeah, yeah.
And it takes some time. It's hand knotted. And
Really beautiful.
yeah, really beautiful, really beautiful. What they do sometimes to make it really quicker, two people work on a loom with the same design, and then they
meet?
They meet. They get them together. They
Wow.
put them together. They put those
So much
together
work.
in order to make them faster, because
Yeah.
otherwise a 20-foot runner would take a long time to make.
Yeah. Yeah. And as a designer, it's interesting because we know the difference in quality. And
Exactly.
now they have all those rugs that are just like printed.
Yeah,
And we're
yeah.
like, no, it's not the same thing.
Yeah, exactly, exactly, yeah.
Amazing.
Exactly, yeah.
These are really, really beautiful. Thank
Yeah,
you.
these are really beautiful. I have this one. This is a serapi. It's an antique serapi, 1880s. It's a Persian serapi, and it is like 15 by 26.
Oh,
It's
wow.
a huge rug. It's
I
a
wish
huge rug.
the colors worked.
It's a Heriz, a beautiful Persian Heriz serapi rug. You know.
Gorgeous. Antiquing can be really overwhelming just because there's so much coming at you from so many different directions. So a rule of thumb for us when we're going antiquing is, number one, having an idea of what you want. And in this case, I'm a little all over the place because I'm getting stuff for an entire home. And normally it's a lot more pointed, but if we were antiquing for a client, we would have measurements written down of exactly what we need. So we would be very pointed and targeted in what we're getting. And we would also do a quick once over of the whole place, taking pictures of what interests us and then taking a picture of the tag as well, so that when we're all done and have seen so many things for the day, we can organize our thoughts at the end and say, oh, remember that piece? We really loved it. Let's go back and grab it.
It's also super helpful to do that, so that way when we're presenting to the client, if the client does want that piece we found, we can go back and we know exactly which booth we can go back to, and or just contact the seller directly.
So this kind of a sofa really chic, modern mohair piece is exactly what would be perfect paired with that more old school tapestry print that we looked at before. If you paired something really old and soulful like that with something kind of more new and modern and sexy, the pairing is something that makes a room feel really interesting, and that's exactly what we're going for. We know where to put our attention because usually when we come on these shopping trips, we're really targeted with what we're looking for. I think also years of honing your eye, you just know what you're gravitating towards and you trust your instincts because it's been years and years of looking at art and furnishings and knowing the difference in quality. This is a piece of art that I saw right when we walked in and I love it. Love it. I already texted it to a client. The colors, it's like, it doesn't fit into an era. It's sunshiny, but it's not so primary. The colors are really interesting. They really tell a story. It's not a piece you can put in a box. And it's got a lot of really fabulous texture to it. I just really like it. It makes me feel happy. Maybe I'll take it home. I think a piece like this specifically has to be the hero of the room. And what I mean about that is if this was next to a bunch of other things that were bright and kind of taking up attention, it might get lost or the room might start feeling really busy. So I would pair something like this with a more subdued space so that it can really, really sing. A simple, clean sofa like we just saw, likely furniture that doesn't have tons of pattern on it or tons of conflicting color. I'd want to see it where it really takes center stage in a room. And oftentimes when we're designing rooms, we kind of figure out what the hero of the room is going to be early on. In a case like this piece would be the hero of the space. This one they're asking $8,500, and honestly, for its size, I think that's a great price. Britt, check this out over here.
Coming.
Two things. I'm loving this artist. What I think is special about it is it's calming, but it almost feels like the sun is peeking through, and in person, it really feels like that. There's like sunshine pushing through. I think it's really interesting. Something like this would not need to be the hero of a room, whereas the other painting was more of a
discussion.
Yeah, this one plays more of a supporting role, but I really love it nonetheless. This is another thing I'm really drawn to. We love pairing really kind of brutalist and natural pieces like this with more feminine, soft shapes. Things like this we're always searching for that are, real and tarnished. And this price point of $750 for this walnut burl is really, really good. So we can turn this into a side table. We can turn this into a larger coffee table if we were to have like a big, maybe like a smoked glass top made.
Ooh, there's an idea.
You can get really creative with pieces like this, but for a price of $750 for walnut burl,
yeah,
that's really good. Don't underestimate the power of a plinth as well. These kind of things can sometimes be hard to find. I think a lot of retailers have jumped on the bandwagon of creating well-priced plinths, but you can usually get these types of things for a steal at antique malls. We often have them made, but they're props, but these people are always looking to sell everything in their area, so don't be afraid to ask. So my dad loved an equestrian bronze.
She's really well priced.
Really well priced. Mm-hmm. He's so adorable. He would be so cute on top of a stack of books, like in an entryway, and it might be my entryway. Let's head downstairs and see what else this place has to bring forth.
Let's. We always get lucky down here.
Oh yeah, we do. Ooh, look at these little masks. So cute. I had a few of those in my last home. The kids always love the personality they bring. Something I love about this antique mall in particular is it's really large. There's a lot of different looks in each booth, and there's even 2 separate staircases, so you can definitely get lost in here if you've never been. When we come, we always bring a tape measure with us. In this place in particular, they'll actually give them to you up front, but we bring this with us to make sure that whatever we're looking at actually fits the space that we're hoping to place it.
Is there any rooms in particular in your rebuild that you're really hoping to find some like interesting pieces for today?
Oh, well, Britt, I think the entire home is
But of course,
I think in particular, I'm looking for some large pieces of art, which are so specific, so I don't know if I'll find that today, but little mirrors, I'm always looking for little mirrors, and mostly tchotchke pieces, and I hate the word tchotchke because they're all really intentional, and I really love every single piece that's sitting out in my house, but that's really what I'm looking for. It's the smaller details for me usually that really make the house feel like a home. And it's, when we're working with clients, it's the last layer we go through and we accessorize, and it's really the thing that just makes it feel comfortable and makes it feel personal, and it's an art.
Do you ever find when antiquing, if you find like that cool like statement piece, no matter like how small, that it can change the direction of a room that we're, designing?
Completely. I think now, I mean, with the opportunity to design for myself, I can pivot whenever I want, which is very freeing. Often for clients, it's a little bit more directed since we already have an established way that we're going. But absolutely, if you find the right piece and it's big and beautiful and interesting and our client loves it, we will pivot.
Yeah, I would think so.
When it comes to accessorizing, there isn't really usually a very pointed plan. We know kind of an overall budget. We know the sizes of shelvings that we're trying to fill, but oftentimes we're just getting pulled in the directions of what's feeling interesting to us. When it comes to a client, we'll then send images for approval. Other times, some of our clients have full trust in us and they just say, here's the budget, go for it, and fill my shelves and make them stunning. Because it's me, I can do the latter. So I'm really just getting pulled to whatever is feeling inspiring in the moment. A few months ago, I came and I saw this lidded glass piece and I was like, that is so cool. I was thinking about it for my bar, but it didn't end up fitting spatially in there anywhere. So I found this live edge table and it's only $3.85 and I am absolutely obsessed with it, so it's definitely gonna come home with me. Oh, is this your booth?
I work for this dealer.
Oh, amazing. Can I take that? Yeah? Let's do it. Let's do it. I love it. It's very cool. Well, that was a really fun break in our day. I feel like we got a lot of stuff done, and now we gotta get back to work.
Absolutely. And a lot to think about. We saw some really cool pieces. Lots of things to pitch clients.
Let's check out here. Yeah, we got some stuff for clients. We got some stuff for myself.
Which was the goal. You were the goal today. Let's not forget that.
And hopefully you found some things to come back for.
Heck yeah, we did.
A little too much to come back for.
It's always a good day when we come here. That was so fun. Thanks for coming with me.
My pleasure. You know I'm always in for a good shopping day.
I love it. I'm so excited that I get to add some old soul to my brand new build. For me, that's one of the most important ingredients to a finished house. So I'm really excited. Thanks for coming along the journey with us.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to go to homeworthy.com for exclusive content, shopping guides, and so much more.